What's a common life pro tip that is actually bad advice? Getting a 4-year degree is essential for a successful career. Acquiring marketable skills in a field you enjoy is what matters, not spending X amount of time in college. Many 4-year degrees leave you with very few skills that are needed in the job market, while many trade school programs only take a few months and put you on the track to a high-paying job. You can't smell vodka. Yes. Yes you can. And you reek of it. Just be yourself, you're perfect just the way you are and never let anyone change you, are double-edged swords preventing many people from growing out of horrid habits or bad personality traits. If a lot of people are telling you to change your behavior, chances are you're gonna ref up your life if you don't pay attention. Yes, especially the thing about change. People seem to have this idea that change is this bad thing, when not changing can lead to stagnation. Sometimes change isn't bad, especially if you learn and become a better person and become more you. We are all perfectly imperfect. I kind of have no excuses drilled into me, but sometimes there are legit reasons why you can't do something. Also, not everything has a Hollywood ending. Sometimes you can't do something. Sometimes you fail and have to give up. Being realistic about that isn't a bad thing. You should do some math before accepting a raise, because it might put you in the next tax bracket and you actually take home less money. That's not how tax brackets work. Let's say the first tax bracket is $10,000 at 10%. That means you fork over $1,000 to Uncle Sam and take home $9,000. For the sake of simplicity, let's assume the next tax bracket is 20%. You are offered a raise of $500, making your total income $10,500. This does not mean the entire $10,500 is taxed at that 20% rate. That first $10,000 is taxed at 10%, then the remaining $500 in the next tax bracket is taxed at 20%, which is $100. Out of that $10,500, you fork over $1,100 and take home $9,400. You take home $400 more. Never reject a raise just because it puts you in the next tax bracket. There is no such thing as taking home less money because you are in a higher tax bracket. Edit. This is only about tax brackets. There are still plenty of good reasons to reject a raise, like benefits cliffs, pay not matching new workload, etc. I'm just here to say that losing money because you get taxed more is not one of them, because that doesn't exist / that's not how the tax brackets work. Edit 2. This is also specific to the US, not commenting on other countries' tax structures. Looks don't matter. No matter how confident you are with yourself, it is inevitable that people will judge you based on your appearance. You shouldn't judge a person on their looks, but the fact of the matter is that a lot of people will, and you need to adapt to that. I think it would have to be not to take no for an answer. You don't win every time. Never give up. Sometimes you should give up. Sometimes you'll try your best and it still won't work out. My favorite version of this: it's better to be at the bottom of a ladder you want to climb than halfway up one you don't. This quote inspired me to quit my career of 10 years and go back to school. Best decision I ever made. Just be happy, or look on the bright side. Great overall advice, but sometimes in the moment, it can be the absolute worst. Sometimes things just suck, and we want to break down and cry. That's okay. We shouldn't be talked out of those emotions when we're upset and obviously feeling low. Absolutely do save birds that fell out of their nests. You're letting them die if you don't. Their mom doesn't give a single shit about their smell, so please save them. Ignore the bullies and they'll stop. This advice makes me want to slap a bitch. You are giving them and everyone who sees it permission. Silence is acceptance. That is the real advice. You can do anything that you put your mind to. No, you can't. Not everyone is good at everything, and the sooner you make peace with your own limitations, the more successful you'll become. Tip your head back to stop a nosebleed. Don't do that. Tip your head slightly forward with a kerchief pressed under your nose and allow the blood to clot. Edit. Wow, this post blew up. Thank you for the silver. Travel while you're young and not tied down. While it's great if you can afford it, it has been offered in my experience chiefly by people who have folks to fall back on. Traveling the world until you are broke is not a good life pro tip if you get stranded with no one to bail you out at the end. Just do the work. Not horrible advice, but incomplete. I find that when people are stuck in life, it's often because they are doing the wrong kind of work. Work that's solitary, unmotivated, not strategic. Instead, I encourage people to join the community that is associated with the work they want to do. If you want to be a comedian or a filmmaker like me, hanging out at a show that you like, or collaborating with other creators, and building relationships there, and feeding those relationships just as often as you're doing the work, will ultimately be more beneficial. At some point in your 20s most people realize it's not as much about what you know, or even what you do, it's about who you know. Who you know also has way more of an impact on your overall happiness. You'll figure it out, like, nah, I won't, that's why I asked. In my experience you'll figure it out is code for, I've tried explaining this to you already and I don't know how better to explain it. It's a bit of a problem on both ends. The learner might not have the best self-teaching skills, and the teacher might not know what questions they need to ask to help the learner make the connections they need to make. Just come out, even if your parents hate you it's better than being someone you're not. No. No 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 no. Come out when it's safe. When you have somewhere else to live. You've faked it for this long. You can do a little longer and stay alive. It sucks, it hurts, it's a bitch and unfair, but you'll live. Some parents realize they're jerks and become accepting. Some realize they were too accepting and outright murder their child. Be safe. There's no real catchy way to put it, but the sentiment that your life revolves around your job. You don't have to have a career or be ultra successful in your field. You just have to have a job that lets you earn enough money to enjoy your life and achieve all the things you want to do outside of work. Or rather, work to live, don't live to work. Practice makes perfect. No it doesn't. Practice makes permanent. If you continuously repeat shoddy work, you'll just become very efficient at making that shoddy work, and it'll be hard for you to ever improve. Practice along with introspection, analysis, and feedback makes perfect. Always listen to your elders and old people are smarter/wiser. I don't care who you are, what relationship I have with you, or especially how old you are. Anyone can be a dumbass. Just be yourself. The most ironic part of this phrase is it's meant to actually suggest being more confident, when in reality it comes off as, just be the eccentric weirdo you are, which usually doesn't work out that well for most people. In reality, you have to be yourself and be likable. Which means yourself has to be someone that is likable. If yourself is not likable, you need to actually change yourself rather than pretending. There was a quote that was thrown around a lot. It was something like a ship only sinks when it lets water in, meaning if you don't let negativity get to you, you'll be fine. It's total bull. Of course you can't let one single negative comment destroy your confidence, but I've always thought this could easily be misunderstood and used to shame people who are depressed because they have a lot of shit going on in their lives. If you're surrounded by negativity, it will get to you sooner or later and there is no shame in that, it's not your fault. A more accurate metaphor would be, a ship that's letting water in will still sink, if you fail to acknowledge it. Opposites attract. Very bad idea. Differences may seem exciting at first. However, seeing how different you are over time can create resentment and heartache. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Absolutely wrong and super self-centered. At our worst, we're all super shitty and our loved ones don't deserve that. Some may not be able to handle us at our worst, due to their own life stress and mental health conditions. This is just a recipe for pushing important people away. Anything that advises you to be a dick to someone who seemingly doesn't deserve it. Be macho. Women love that shit. Don't worry about your friend that says you're mean. He's a puss. Your employer will appreciate you being aggressive and brutish. As a general rule, being a dick is rarely a good idea. You can't run away from your problems/bloom where you're planted. Not always bad advice. but sometimes you absolutely do need to leave a toxic environment before your life can improve. That blood is thicker than water. Sometimes the family you choose, friends, are better for you than the family you were born into. Telling kids to follow your dreams, and you can be anything if you work hard enough. Sometimes you need to admit that even if something is your dream, and you're willing to work for it, you may not have the necessary talent you need to succeed and should just keep it as a hobby. Hard work is important, but so is natural ability. I have a friend with dreams of being a successful actress. Her parents keep telling her if she believes, then she can do it, and she has talent and should follow her heart. While she's not bad, she's not great. She couldn't get into drama school, went to university to do something else, and graduated with a poor grade because she spent all of her time focusing on the drama society. Now she's been in and out of service jobs, still trying audition after audition with almost no success. Instead, she could have been building a career in another field, and joined an amateur dramatic group to maintain her love for it, while not wasting her life chasing an impossible dream. Plus there's the whole issue of it being a very difficult, and stable job where you need connections to go far. Ignore what others think of you. Human interaction is a cornerstone of our existence, and depending on how well you're liked, among others, determines the relative ease of how well you're able to get through life. Being mindful of others and their feelings should inform your thoughts and actions to a certain extent. There are obviously exceptions, but to simply outright ignore everybody, and just maintain your course no matter what, is not good advice. I think lots of people take ignore what others think of you too literally when it's meant to be more of a remain unbothered at people's unnecessary negative opinions of you. Lots of assholes in the world use this phrase as a crutch to ignore the obvious attempts to hint that they're an asshole. Never change a running system. Heard it so many times at work, it almost makes me vomit when hearing it. In my opinion, it's just an excuse for being too lazy to make something better, even a tiny little bit. Cause it works so far, why should I change something? If you can't love yourself, you can't love someone else. Makes everyone with any mental illness feel unlovable and hopeless. Follow your heart. We have a brain for a reason. Our hearts are fickle, and what may seem like love may just be infatuation, etc. Understanding what you are feeling and why is important, as well as realizing that some commitments are worth it to push through the difficult times when our hearts aren't in it. If a boy's mean to you, it means he likes you. No, it means he's likely a bully and leads women to staying in abusive relationships because he loves me. You have to love yourself before others can love you. While of course self-love is great for those who can achieve it, everyone needs close human contact, and it's harder to learn to love yourself if you feel lonely. Push through your anxiety and it will be more manageable. F that, talk it out and get to the source. Yep. Trying to push my way through anxiety has definitely screwed me over quite a few times. It was only when I started addressing it that I got better. Gotta make your parents proud. In reality, parents who love their children just want them to be happy. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily Reddit videos.